Hey everyone, welcome to the Dare to Care podcast, the podcast where we talk about the inner workings of ministry at Inspire Family Fellowship and community stories within the church. If you have comments, stories, or questions about Inspire or our Dare to Care ministries at any point during the podcast today, feel free to send those questions to me at amy@inspirefamily.org. We also invite you to join us in person at Inspire any Sunday you're able, 523 North 21st Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. Sunday services are at 9:15 and 10:45. My name is Amy Langang, and I'm the Dare to Care coordinator at Inspire Family Fellowship. And I'm joined today by Pastor Rob and our special guest, Nicole Simon. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Hello.
Also, I had
having me.
had your sister's name on here, so we're lucky I didn't say her sister.
Right.
Well, that's what I was going to say as like the intro to this is, this is like the siblings edition because I don't know what order all of this airs in, but the last one I was here for was your sister, and so now I'm here with you, and you are the older sister, correct? Yep. Which is good because I'm the older brother, and so now you can set the record straight. I know all the things she lied about. You can be like, no, this is how it really
This
was.
is how it happened.
And it's funny, I haven't even listened to hers yet, so I don't even know. But
and could you say a more older sibling thing that I don't even know what she's doing? Yeah, that's terrific.
We also sound alike, so
okay,
people might get confused.
So make sure they're well labeled. But welcome to the podcast. We're glad you're here. We kind of start most of these the same way. We always say, one day you were born, and then a couple of years later you ended up making a podcast with these people here at Inspire Family Fellowship. What were some of the things that happened in between? How did you get here? That's the question on the table.
All right. Well, let's see. I guess I always grew up in the church. I went to a very small church in Mandan for a long time. And then my mom was like, I don't think it's very good for confirmation. She wanted us to be like maybe in a group with peers more our age.
Sure.
So we were also living in Bismarck, so we were driving back and forth. So I think they just wanted to stop driving to Mandan. But
fair.
fair.
I've driven to Mandan. I don't recommend it.
I know it's. You say all the way. It's really not that, but it feels like a long drive. Yeah. So we ended up going to Good Shepherd. We did try out churches, and I think we went to Charity. I don't know if Randy was there at the time. Don't really recall that church very much when we went, but we ended up at Good Shepherd.
Sure.
And we liked it, and we went to church school. That's where I got confirmed and had a really good youth pastor, actually a couple of them. And so I really was actually really involved in church. I was like the good girl.
Sweet.
until
that story always that I was until
like I was the president of SAD, if you ever knew what that was, Students Against Destructive Decisions, and like was not going to do anything wrong until I turned 16. So that's a story for another time. But so, and when I went on a mission trip to Tijuana, Mexico, actually.
Wow. Was this like in high school? Or?
Yeah, I was. Okay. I think I was a freshman.
Okay.
And very eye-opening. I mean, not only working with like the people there, but like things that happen there. But you wouldn't think, like, we are North Dakotans and we're in Mexico. But lots of crying, which I didn't expect either. But you just kind of open yourself up, and
I
really
grew up
good.
Going on mission trips throughout high school and stuff like that, and it is kind of in those unexpected places where things show up. I remember going to Lake Tahoe, and you think of Lake Tahoe as luxury resort town. I think of Tijuana as sort of a tourist type place, and you think, well, then there's got to be money. And yet it seems like all these resort towns right under the surface is this whole other world.
And it was literally right. So all of the money would be right along the beach, right along the coast. And then you literally walk 2 steps. And it is like a whole different world. And we were like, oh my.
Yeah. Well, so help me. I think I know what you're saying, but what did you get from that? Like, oh my, what? How did it change you?
So we ended up building, so we had 2 different parts. One of us was working with an orphanage, And then another part was building homes, because these people had homes that were built out of anything you can think of, tires and
Sure.
like, I mean, I'm on like a cardboard box. Like we make that joke, living in a cardboard box under a bridge. That's literally kind of what they lived in.
Wow.
So we were building them out of stucco. So I was doing that one day with a group, and so like working all day, it's hot, and like we showered once the time we were there, so like just gross. And we were walking back to our church that we were staying in, and so you don't think anyone knows English when you're there, but we were walking by and there was some dudes hanging out of a truck, and it did not hit me until I told this story later, because we always had a group discussion later about our day. But there were some guys hanging out of a truck, and as I walked by, he was like, I think he asked me how much for me.
Right.
And I was like, it did not click with me at all until we got back later. And I was like, oh my.
Welcome
Not
to the
in
real
North
world.
Dakota.
Welcome to the real world. Yeah. Like, what?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So you felt like that trip shaped your worldview, probably, for sure.
Yeah.
It shaped your faith at all?
Yeah. Because I never saw, I mean, I think it goes in a lot of mission trips that where you're in a lower income, like,
For sure, yeah.
like they are the happiest people.
Interesting.
I mean, we went to a church service, of course, was our last day in Mexico. And like, I've never seen that much worship, that much praise for God in my entire life. And it was just like even though they are so low, so poor, like it was
Interesting.
it was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so we went on that trip. You made it back alive.
Yep.
Go on from there.
Okay. So once I got confirmed, my youth pastor ended up leaving. And due to the politics of the church, is basically what I got out of it.
Yeah.
So because he was one who got me so into, I kind of turned away. And like I said, when I turned 16, I also turned around for the bad, I guess. Not for the good, but and it took a long time for me to get back. I think I was more of the go on holidays type of, and I'm not listening to the sermon, like just sitting there hearing it,
Sure.
not taking it in. And then I met my husband, and so Ernie went to high school with his mom, I believe.
Yeah,
Or
that
somehow.
makes
They
sense.
grew
Ernie knows everybody.
Yeah,
okay.
they grew up in the same town, I believe. So, my husband knew Ernie, and he was doing his own church, City Life, at
Okay.
the time. So he's like, "You should come here," and so that's when I started going back to church.
So you and your husband started going to Ernie's City Life Church.
And we basically followed Ernie because after he couldn't do it on his own, and then he went to Surprise with Matt, and then I think they had different opinions, and then he came over here.
Awesome. And
Now we stayed at Surprise. We didn't follow right away, but
yeah,
But we got you here eventually.
yeah,
that's terrific.
and we've been here since.
So can you, and if it's too personal, don't worry about it. Like we said, we can cut any of this out. How did your husband, and he wasn't your husband yet, right?
Right.
Somewhere you must have met him and started going to church together, and then how did that play out? Like, what did he do to get you to go, other than just being like a handsome dude? You know, I mean, like, or maybe that's all it was. Like, oh, he's cute, I'll go to church with him. I mean, what was that process like? Because I think, okay, I'm gonna add some stuff. I think a lot of people we talk to will say that their spouses either helped them grow, or they helped their spouse grow, or whatever it was. And I think that story is always interesting to people, because I do think God puts your spouse in your life for a reason. So how did that process work? What did it look like?
Well, then I'm gonna have to tell the story of. Okay, so.
And if you don't want to, for
No,
real.
it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So we met. He is the complete opposite of what I was dating at the time.
Okay.
Like, so I went to marriage retreat and we told our story. They should have recorded it because it was good. But yeah, I said during that story that you could Google bad guy, and that's who I was into.
Okay.
Because he is the complete opposite. He is blonde hair, blue eyed. I think I'm his second person he's ever been with, which was a thing at the time because, like, if you say, like, I don't know, numbers are a thing at one point, and like my numbers are way higher than his. So, like, I felt like I was too good for him.
But you must have had some conversations. You know, you started dating this guy for some reason.
So we met online, and he was the first guy to ever ask me, because I had put on my profile that I have a son, and it says who doesn't live with me, and he was the first one who ever asked me about it.
Sure.
So that's why I kept talking to him, and then because I don't think it was right. It wasn't right away. I don't remember exactly when he asked me to church, but in our conversations, faith came up, and I know he was like, so I'm going, like, I can't remember how he brought it up. I really can't. Like, I'm going to this guy that my mom used to go to high school with or something. He's a really great guy, and you should join me. Something along those lines. So I was like, okay.
And you went.
And I went.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
And then, I'm Ernie's pastor in this church. Mm-hmm. What was it that made you think, okay, yeah, this is the real deal? I mean, was it something he said? Was there a point in the sermon? You know, most people have something that, it might have been over time too, but.
Yeah, it was. So what I liked about it at first was he was non-denominational. Mm-hmm. So, which when you grew up in Lutheran and it was kind of the rules that took a bit to adjust to, but then I really liked it, not having rules. It was just like every time he preached, it was stuff that I could relate to, that I could, understand. And it made a lot more sense than when the guy is in a white robe and you're like, what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he made it seem real and down to earth, maybe.
Yep. And like, so he is in like Jesus and stuff, like, he is kind of like me in a sense.
Right.
You know, like
he's approachable.
He's not some high up there and doesn't care about little me or something.
So you made the connection there, and then your life progressed. You must have married your husband at some point. Yep. This was pre-marriage, but right. So his hot date was he took you to church with Ernie.
Right. Yeah.
This is maybe not relationship advice we're offering here. I don't know if that's always going to be the way it works, but you ended up getting married, mm-hmm. and you have 2 daughters now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And talk about what that has been like for you, having kids. And maybe especially how it relates to church and faith and stuff like that.
So, I mean, when I thought about having kids, I knew that I wanted them to go to church, but I also wanted them to want to. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely wanted to find some place that they liked going. And so when we started coming here, I have seen that a lot, because Lennon, my youngest, she's 3, was baptized here, and but my oldest, Claire, was technically baptized by Ernie and Surprise, but she's not really official. But I'm like, it was in front of God, so that matters.
That's an interesting. I think a lot of people don't realize any baptized believer can baptize someone else. Mm-hmm. And so she is official. If Ernie was the one there, it's official. You know?
I mean, they didn't have like a formal baptism.
I made the mistake of saying that to one of our middle school kids in front of one of her friends. She's like, does that mean I can baptize her? I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, I'm going to baptize you at lunch tomorrow. I don't think she did, but I don't know. I didn't get
That
any
would've
like
been
calls
interesting.
from angry parents or angry principals
At
like this. But
At a
yeah,
water fountain or something.
but yeah, but I just want to make sure that you know that baptism is as official as it gets.
Right.
It doesn't get more official. You might have better pictures at a church service,
And
but
I don't think she even went to their kids' stuff. So it wasn't until we started coming here. I think both of them started
okay.
coming to the church school here. And so we talk about Jesus all the time. And it's the cutest thing when your 6-year-old is just like, Jesus is in my heart. And you're just like,
Well, especially when your 6-year-old already is the cutest thing.
I was just
on the
gonna
planet.
say
oh yeah,
that.
if
Your
you've ever
girls
seen her, she's
are
probably
adorable.
The greeters want her. She's
Right.
already
Well, I was gonna
recruited.
say, she walks in
Yes.
and you just have to stop and stare and just like, oh, look at this little piece of joy who's walking. And I'm sure she's
Yeah.
not a piece of joy at home all the time, but
I don't see how she couldn't be.
yeah. Okay. Oh, you're a grandparent. I see. No.
I don't have girls.
No.
So
Right. No, she's
the envy of a girl mom.
Well, and I think it's interesting, that you started your story with my parents moved us to a church because they wanted a good youth program for the kids, and that seems to be kind of part of what's working for you here.
yeah,
Is the ministry your children receive, and
absolutely.
which brings me to the next topic that I want to bring up. 2 years ago, I started on staff here, and I'd always ask women. I'd ask everybody, but especially women, what do you like about Inspire? And the first thing most of them said is, my husband loves this and this and this. Okay, great. Cool. What do you like about Inspire? And they say, well, my kids just love the youth program. And I said, okay, great. But what do you like? And then they would look at me confused and say, well, my husband likes, and so one of the reasons we brought Amy on is because we wanted to do more for the actual women of Inspire. We're glad your husband loves it. We're glad your kids love it. What about you? And so along those lines, you have started a book study, or you're leading a book study for women. What's that about?
So we did one last spring that I led, because it was a book that as soon as I read it and I found out that it was also set up as a Bible study, I was like, I need to do this at church. So, I can't remember because there was
That was Forgiving What You Can't Forget, I believe.
yes,
That's the name of
Last
the book?
spring.
that was the name of the book. Yeah,
Okay,
by
Forgiving What You Can't Forget.
Lisa.
Lisa Tursk. I said that wrong, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Turkish.
Turkic, and
Lisa.
with a T.
Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa wrote the book. Lisa, yeah.
I'm sure most people know who she is, but so I decided told Amy that I wanted to lead that, so that was my first time leading a book study, and I think I did pretty well.
You did awesome. That's why I'm like, come back for more. We've got more this fall.
And
here you are.
I did end up choosing another Lisa book,
Yep.
but it's also a great title. It's I Want to Trust You, But I Don't.
Oh, wow. I'm sure no one at home can relate to that.
Right.
No.
So yeah, this fall we're going to start that one up September 22nd.
And that's Monday nights, right?
Monday nights,
Yeah.
6:00. Ladies can come from 6 to 6:30. We do just a little social hour. So we all just gather in the fellowship hall, hang out, chit chat, do what girls like to do. Then 6:30 to 7:30, we break up into rooms, and each leader takes on their
Yep.
little small group, and they dive in.
Yep.
So, when did Amy ask you to be a leader of this group, or did you volunteer?
Someone who was in my group last year was like, when are we doing another book study? Because I really miss it.
Yeah.
And that was just this fall, a couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago. And so Amy was like, well, we are. And it was only one. I think you were.
We had one book at the time.
Yep. And she's like, but I am looking for 2 or
Just need
3
more people. Anyone want to take on
Anyone
a book?
want to lead? And I was like, well, I would.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I want to get to, though. How do you get from a place where, faith wasn't a huge part of your life to, well, I've kind of been going to church with this guy I like who I ended up marrying, and now we've got kids. And now I'm leading a book study at the church. Like, to me, that seems like a pretty, not only a quick change of pace, but also that's like big. Like, I think if you walk up to random people in the church and say, hey, we'd like you to lead a book study, I think more of them would say, thank you, no.
They would run the other direction.
Right, and which we've seen.
Yes, I have.
How did you get to a place, or why did you say yes?
So Let's see. I ended up going to a few of the women's events that they had. What was it? 4 W's?
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of W's, and there's some V's running around.
There's
for
a
the
little bit
guys.
of wine
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes there's wine. Yeah.
And then I would bring my mom and my sister to those. And then there was one during Christmas time. We made wreaths at Plant Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I went to that event. I was there.
I remember that.
I remember that. I got to go to the women's
Only
event.
man.
Yeah. No, it was
Which was
fun.
really fun. And I know I love those type of things, being crafty and all the things. So, going to those and meeting the women in the church. And when my sister started coming, we just started talking more about our faith. And then she had always wanted to be always asked me, I want to do a Bible study. So then Bible 101 came and we joined that. And then the one in the fall or winter, I think it was January maybe.
Yeah, all of Randy's Wednesday night ones, right?
Yes. Yep. So we went to all of those and we loved it. And there was another book study, I think that was around that time too. There was give the enemy a seat at your table and a few other books.
So you took part in a couple of these Bible studies, a couple of these book studies. And so when the time came that we need someone to lead one, you kind of felt like, well, I know a lot of these ladies and I've been through the process. And so you were just kind of able to say, well, yeah, I can be the leader. And I always say leader like in quotes because most of leading is just I agree to turn on the lights every week.
Yeah.
And be there.
And I think that's exactly it. So many people, will you lead a book study? And they panic almost. And so I think once you go to one or two and you see, it's just getting it rolling because the ladies around the table take over the conversation.
Yeah.
All they do is have to ask a question maybe, and then they do the rest.
Yeah. Well, and especially with a book, the questions are sometimes provided. I thought, so I can relate because, 2 years ago I became a pastor and overnight people started treating me differently and asking me questions and it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And, you've had all these experiences, you've been to Bible studies, you've been to book studies. And in my case, I'm going to a bunch of schooling for it and stuff like that. But I don't think there's ever a moment in life for anybody, and maybe Pastor Randy or Pastor Ernie, guys who've been in this job for 30 years would disagree with me. I don't know if you're ever ready. No. I think of it like parenting. Are you ready to have a kid?
No.
No. You might have done everything right. You might have, all of your finances are in order and you've got the job you need and you've got the house you need. But when the baby shows up, it's like, now what do I do? And
like me, I
panic.
just did it before.
Right. Well, but God prepares you for what He has called you for.
Yeah.
And even sometimes that preparation isn't the preparation you'd want, but He is faithful. And so I'm very excited for you leading this class. To me, that's what this ministry is supposed to be about. Teaching and growing people into a place where they're ready to help teach and grow people. And never, ever do we expect our leaders to have all the answers.
Right.
Nope.
I don't have all the answers, and I'm in seminary. And, I've even stumped Pastor Randy from time to time.
Wow.
So he doesn't have all the answers either. But yet we can still grow together. And I say this in front of the Ignite crowd all the time. When I have a question, I open the Bible.
Yep.
And I start to read, and sometimes it answers it, and sometimes it leads to more questions, but we're just going to walk through it together. And so I want to thank you for being willing to walk through it together. Yeah. And I hope it encourages other people to say, you know what? Nicole can do this. I could do something, I've always wanted to read this book.
Especially if the book is something that you relate to, like forgiving what you can't forget. There are things in I knew there's stuff in everyone's lives that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about forgiving like we're supposed to, like Jesus taught us to. So I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Why don't we learn together?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's spectacular. And man, that new book title, maybe I can come to Women's Night.
Sure. Put a wig on,
Do I have to? Okay, yeah.
We could start a men's group too on Monday night.
That's true. We could do a men's group. We do have a men's group on Thursday, but that's tough for some people. But anyway, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, or any particular moments that you'd like to share? Because if not, we can kind of wrap it up. But if there's more that you have, we'd love to.
So.
I love learning about people's stories. Like, that's my favorite part of this podcast. So if you have any other ones, like, or any trash on your sister, or something like that you want to air. She was pretty nice to you.
She was really nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's not cause a
We don't need to
sibling
cause more.
tip here.
No,
She's a good person.
that's awesome. Well,
She is
again,
really
it's fun to hear her story. If you haven't heard her story, go back a week or two, whatever it is, and listen to it. And just how she is here because you invited her. And I don't know if you thought that was a big deal or not. You're just like, hey, why don't you come to church?
I didn't know it was a big deal till Easter when Randy brought it up in the middle of a sermon.
In front of
And you're
700 people, yeah.
I started bawling. So
But that's what got it. All you did was say, come and see.
all I did.
That's
all I
it.
did.
And the ripples effects from that one invitation are there, and there will be more ripple effects from the book study now, and all the other things from that too. So I want to thank you for doing what you do and being who God called you to be. That's a really great thing. So
Thank you for having me.
oh, absolutely. I'm gonna say a quick prayer here, and then we'll let Amy close up the podcast. But I do just want to thank you for being here and taking time to spend with us.
Yeah.
Let's pray. God, here we are. We thank you for this day and for your blessings. And I especially lift up our sister Nicole to you today, Lord. I pray that you bless her and you guide her, and that you especially be with her in this new book study, this new adventure she's going on with some of her friends and other women here at Inspire. Lord, I just pray that you are in those rooms with them, and that you minister to them, that you lead them and guide them in all of the things that you have for them. I pray for our listeners. I pray, Lord, that you keep them safe, healthy, and happy, that you watch over them in all that they do. And that in all things, Lord, we remember your mercy and your grace and your love for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us today on our Dare to Care podcast. Don't forget to swing by the church on Sunday at 9:45 or 9:15.
We are not re-recording this again.
That's
We're
fine.
right at the end.
You just leave it. Leave
We're
all
gonna
my
leave it.
struggles here.
Yep.
So Sunday 9:15
So keeping
or
it real
10:45, and it
just
is
gonna
a
keep
rally.
talking
Hey,
over
this
you.
is I'm going to talk louder.
Okay.
It is a Rally Wednesday. We've got Ignite starting up again on Wednesday, so make sure you come here. 5 p.m. is the meal, 6 p.m. is classes, and 7 o'clock is our service.